No, we knew it was coming for a few months.
Hmm.
The average person might have been blindsided. I don't know. They
Hmm.
sent out the notification to like, hey, this card no longer is gonna be functional as it was. You can
Hmm.
use it until you get your new card. I think every time Capital One does something that kind of makes me think, oh, they're trying to like turn themselves around and be taken more seriously and actually do something good. They always balance it out with something like that. Like, oh,
Right.
there they are.
Okay, so Capital One is at it again, man, making some more changes, forcing some people's hands, in fact, changing some people's credit cards and actually giving them hard pulls for it without even them asking. And even some cards now being discontinued. I have somebody here with me who's going to talk about his story with this, and we'll share another story from somebody I talked to just recently about what the hell Capital One is doing. So, Richie, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. So you just had a video on your channel. I'll actually bring it up on the screen here. Is Capital One forced me into this credit card, and it seemed a lot of people resonated with this video. Seems like something was pretty interesting about it. So what exactly happened that Capital One forced you into a particular credit card? What's the story with this?
Yeah, so I had the Capital One Walmart credit card, which for Walmart was pretty decent. You got the 5X on Walmart.com or in the app. Side note, it's kind of funny because there was rumors about Capital One taking the Apple card, and the Walmart card was very similar in the sense that if you used the physical card, you got less rewards than if you used the digital version, like buying
Hmm.
online. But anyway, so when they when they dropped Walmart, they automatically switched everybody to a Quicksilver card, which I mean, it's not a
Hmm.
terrible card. It's my first credit card. I think it's a great starter card. But for someone who's already deep into the game, I've already got two Quicksilvers that do absolutely nothing, sit in my sock drawer, and I'm just waiting for Capital One to close them. Um, it was kind of like a useless transition for me. But a few weeks into it, I got an email that said, "Hey, that new Quicksilver we just gave you, you may be able to change it to something more useful." So I
Hmm.
clicked on it, and it gave me the option of Adventure One, which is an actual useless card, the $95 Venture, which is pretty decent, or the Save.
Hmm.
So I mean, at least they came and gave you options after the fact, but it was just kind of like, why didn't you just do that from the beginning?
You actually told me off camera that you've been wanting to get the Saver for so long, but they never let you like product change your old Quicksilver to it. But now this was the first time, and I think a lot of people are still trying to do that. They're like, I can never get the Saver. Like they don't want to apply for it and
Yeah.
take the hard pulls, but they want a product change to it. But they never get any advice on that at all. Getting a Saver.
Yeah. So I think it has to do with the whole Capital One bucket system. Um,
Hmm.
my Quicksilver was this is my first or second credit card. I can never remember which one, but I was bucketed pretty hard. I mean, I've had it for over 10 years now, and it's still, I think the limit on it is like still $1,700. Um, but yeah, I would never be able to convert it to anything other than a Venture One.
Hmm.
And so I think once you're in that bucket, that account, as far as what I've seen, is kind of just a write off. I think I've also read that it had something to do with whether or not your Quicksilver is a Mastercard or a Visa.
Hmm.
Um, there was a period where some people were able to convert their Quicksilvers to a Saver One, but I think it came out that they were all Visas. I could be wrong. I could have that backwards.
That's true. That's what I've theorized that in the past as well. It's like, oh, everybody who's trying to convert over, it's like
Yeah.
actually, matter of fact, oddly enough, I actually have this is my Visa Quicksilver,
Ah,
and then I recently, I guess, product changed my original Platinum Secured to this Quicksilver. I got the new design too, but
all
this one's
right.
a Mastercard World Elite, of course, and so that
Nice.
should, in theory, since the Saver card is also a Mastercard, you, you should, it's like for
Should
like,
be
you
able-
should be able to convert it over. So I have heard
Yeah.
that too, but it just seems like it's almost no rhyme or reason. Like even my brother-in-law, who had credit for like 2 months, he was able to get the platinum card and he was able to product change that to a Saver in like a month of owning it. I was like, how? It's like, how did you do that? So Walmart, did this end of this partnership happen out of nowhere? Or did people know it was coming?
No, we knew it was coming for a few months.
Hmm.
there wasn't a whole lot of communication sent directly. So I say we knew it was coming for a few months. Being in the credit card niche on YouTube and Reddit, I knew. The average person might have been blindsided. I don't know.
So what's the process like when it eventually converts over? So I guess the card just cancels, or and then they just reissue. I guess they product change it to the Quicksilver.
Yeah, they product change it. I expected it would just like when you do a normal product change, it would be the same account number and all that. But
Hmm.
my card in the app actually has a different account number, so that kind of caught me off guard. But yeah, I mean it was pretty seamless on my end. They sent out the notification to like, hey, this card no longer is gonna be functional as it was. You can
Mhm.
use it until you get your new card. Once you get your
Mm.
new card, activate it, and then that's it from there on. My Walmart rewards, like cash that I had in the account, just
Mm.
converted over to cash on the Quicksilver card, which was
Hmm.
great because then I was able to convert that to miles on my Venture X. So I mean that
Oh,
was nice. I was a little bit worried that like if that was just going to disappear or not,
yeah.
but no, they converted it and that went pretty smooth.
Wow, that's actually pretty interesting.
You know, it would have been great because the Quicksilver is 1.5. So if they just took my cash and that got multiplied by 1.5,
Oh,
but
could you
no, it
imagine?
didn't. It just stayed what it was.
So in a roundabout way, the partnership really helped you. The
Yeah, it
ending of
did.
the
It did.
partnership that helped you.
Yeah, it really did. You know, like I said, it kind of sucks because the Walmart card was good. We could do online grocery pickup or delivery and get 5x. So,
Mm,
you know, now I just use my Venture X at Walmart because nothing else codes, you know, groceries there. So I went
mhm.
down from 5x to 2x, but you know, I haven't done it, but you could do the math as far as transferring those miles out. Maybe I'm still getting better value. I don't know.
Hmm.
I haven't put that much
Eh,
thought into it. Unless you get an offer on something like for the entire month of October, I had plus 5 MR points on my platinum card at Walmart.
hmm,
So
hmm.
I was using my platinum card at Walmart. And it was funny because anytime I physically went to the store and I'm paying for something and I pull out my platinum, in the back of my head, I'm like, somebody who knows is looking at me just thinking like, idiot. You know what I mean?
Right.
Dummy.
Right. So thank you for that story. And we actually I wanted to get your take on this because I just saw a comment 2 days ago on my channel when I was talking about how when the Kohls card, I guess like they hit the partnership started with Capital One. So now Capital One was now issuing their Visa for the Kohls card. And then the old Kohls card for anybody who was like an MVP. So I guess anyone who spent like $600 a year automatically got converted over to this Capital One branded Kohls card. And that's initially what happened. I think it was in September. All those people got automatically converted with no hard pulls on their credit, no nothing, similar to you, just like a product change almost. But I got this comment. So this guy Joseph commented a couple days ago, and he said, if a Capital One representative calls you to tell you that they are now with Kohls and that they want to send you out a new card, don't believe them. What they're doing is signing you up for another card. The only thing it says is Kohls on the card, but it's just a standard Visa. So that's what we talked about there, switching over to Capital One Visa. And what they mentioned here was they were told that they were getting a replacement card. He said, yes, I want that card. And he said they sent him a whole new account, which means a hit on his credit for opening it up. And if that's true, as we know, Capital One is kind of notorious, I guess, depending what state you're in, for the three hard pulls. You know, every time you apply for, a Capital One card, you're usually getting hit with a hard pull on your Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. So that can it definitely hurts a lot of people for sure. If it's a card that you didn't really care about, but the representative was like, "Oh, do you want it?" and you just said yes because everyone else got it for friggin', I guess, free, no hard pulls. Yeah, I would be upset too, probably. So,
Yeah.
what do you think about that whole situation with this person?
I think every time Capital One does something that kind of makes me think, oh, they're trying to like turn themselves around and be taken more seriously and actually do something good. They always balance it out with something like that. Like, oh,
Right,
there they are. It's like Xavier said on one of my videos. He's like Capital One doing Capital One things. I'm like, yep.
right.
They can't get out of their own way.
I guess that's a beware for anybody who, because I know a lot of people out there with the Coles card. I guess if they're calling, just re-clarify. Make sure that if they do ask you for the card, tell them like, hey, I just don't want any hard pulls. I would say,
Yeah.
if they say, well, we have to do hard pull, then you could just at that point either decide like, okay, that's fine, or I just won't take the Capital One Kohls card. So I think people still have their original Kohls card. I think you could still use that and use Kohls Cash,
Mm.
but I think they're trying to convert everybody over. So I'm not sure what that process will be once it's finalized.
It almost sounds like one of the scams you hear about, doesn't it? Like they call you and
Yeah.
like they're like, "Hey, we can do this for you," and it's just totally like they're gonna take some old person out of like all their money. Like,
Right,
doesn't it
right.
kind of have that vibe to it? Like, if Capital One calls you and tries to get you to convert your card, don't talk to that person. Hang up and call Capital One. Use the
That's
number
right.
on the back of your existing Capital One card.
Right, that's right. Yes. Okay, so it looks like that card that Richie got converted over to the Quicksilver, he actually has it on here. And from what I understand, this was the old design for the Quicksilver card. So this is kind of how it looked. I call it like the Saturn ring, something like that, or vinyl disc.
Yeah,
But he said that he actually has a new one, and he wants to unenvelope in front of us right now, which
that's
may in
right.
fact have the new design, so we could see the new design for the Quicksilver. So I mean,
That's right.
take it away.
You know,
Take it away.
a lot of people like the old design better, and a lot of people have on credit Reddit, a lot of people have said they've tried to get the new design, but they still get sent the old design. So this will be a surprise for everybody involved. But I have it here. Never been opened. We're gonna open it together for the first time. Uh, completely on
Well, okay.
completely completely new. Let's see what we got.
Never opened, huh?
It is in fact the new design.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, look, it's actually, I gotta be honest, it's a little bit more silver than I thought it was from seeing the pictures online. Yeah.
So, like everybody says, it's kind of like got the Venture X design now. It's kind
Yeah,
of
it
like
does. It does. But it is a lot
much.
more shiny than I expected. I thought it was going to be flat, but it's not.
Well, I really appreciate you giving me your time today, Richie, and going over these crazy situations with Capital One.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. I love collabing. I love collabing with you. I want to apologize to all your viewers who made it this far and have listened to me for 21 minutes. I'm sorry.
And to check out his channel, it's Richie the CEO. So Richie underscore the underscore CEO. Go check out his videos. He actually got me on a video talking about pet peeves, and of course more in depth on this Capital One situation. And him and his lovely CEW wife Kim go over a lot of credit cards from a normal person's perspective, because she is the normal one in the relationship.
Definitely.